Hey guys, and welcome back to Alan's Gaming. This is of course Alan of Alan's Gaming, and I hope you like my videos. As you can see, we're headed back into Fallout 4. As promised, I did most of the construction that I could do to this point with the resources that I was able to gather throughout scrapping Sanctuary Hills and the start area. Now bear in mind that I couldn't do everything. As you saw, no power lines can be run through the entire area, but for the most part we're there. Now this is of course our main building. We had the couches, the radio, and so on and so forth. 6 beds, we're good. Now here we have, well, that building. Now this particular structure is for most people superfluous or useless, but I put it here so that I can set up traders. Now you can pretty much set up all the traders along this route. In theory, I can make it longer or shorter as needed, but it's not important. At the end here, I can put up the trading post for when I get to Beacon Hill, and I get traders from there coming in. That building, as I said, was for construction purposes. Ooh, I missed out a wall. We'll fix that in a moment. Now, obviously, we have armor crafting, weapon crafting, chem station. The cook fire is outside simply for, health and safety. You don't put an open fire inside a wooden building. And of course, our armor power armor bench. Now, prefabs, wall, that one. Now in theory I could put this one in. It gives you a view of the outside. I like to do that in case I get attacked while I'm working in here. I can quickly turn around and shoot the bastards through the gap there. Bear in mind that you've got 2 gaps on either side that can actually be filled in, though many people don't seem to realize it. You can use this one or that one. Now it sort of clips in once you've got in the right place, but not always. Well, it's supposed to anyway. Maybe there. So, see there? There. Clipped in and clipped in. There. Now the sides are nicely clipped in. That is of course a guard post that provides 2 defense once you've got a guard in there, and you've got the enemies that come from there. So we've got a guard post, and we can put towers in the front there. Or not turrets, towers, turrets. Now turrets would be not there. Defense turrets. Now you've got the standard turret, which I can build 3 of currently, but they're not very strong. I can later on with gun nut 1 I can build strong ones, which is what I normally do, and then even further on I can build heavy lasers. Now I can, in fact, you'll see that I've got a small floor platform there just to extend this thing out a bit, but I can put a turret on either corner there, as well as here or on the roof. This area, you've got a big blank area for no reason. That I'll build up later when I can build this, not this one, stores. There, food and drink. We'll build ourselves a nice restaurant type thing over here, put some guy to work there, and put a whole bunch of couches and seating area in here. Some people just put the thing along here with all the others, but with that you then get everyone just standing around right here, and it looks kind of stupid. You can also set it up in there, but as your settlements gets bigger, you then see the 20 people stacked in that one room hanging around the restaurant, hence the nice large area up there. These particular things, storage. Now this one is used for selling stuff. Everything that I'm going to sell to a trader or whatever goes in there. This one is for processing, as in everything that I pick up while looting goes straight in there, and I'll decide what to do with it later. Leather armor, metal armor, combat armor, synth armor or synthetic armor, which is robot armor. Then we've got basic stuff that I want kept aside to give to people, such as jumpsuits and so on and so forth. And this is my personal storage. I'm actually supposed to have another one. Those are found in furniture, containers, weapons. weapons. Now the weapons are good weapons that I'm going to be giving to people as I go along. Now that is pretty much how I'd like to build up Sanctuary Hills. There is of course this guard post over here, which is watching the second area where enemies come from, and that guard post over there, which you will see in a moment, which once again watches the third area where enemies come from. Now obviously I can't build enough turrets to properly defend the place, but that's why I did not want the radio station built up just yet. Once the place is nicely built up and defended, I will obviously show the place off again so that you see what I'm talking about. Nice defense, well managed, and something to bear in mind, 3 guard posts, which theoretically means 3 guards and 6 defense. However, if you put 1 guard in, he will patrol between up to 3 guard posts. So I put 1 guard in, build 3 guard posts. I can then, in theory, build 3 more guard posts and put a second guard on patrol around Sanctuary Hills. I don't always do that, but sometimes I do. Now, as you know, I've got my single pistol because I don't need to carry 5. We've picked up the leather armor from one of the things we were doing and a postman hat. The postman hat is kind of useless, but 1 extra endurance means I take less damage in theory, and I have slightly higher stamina for running. Now we can upgrade armor. Early on you can't really do much, especially when you have absolutely no leather, but it's there as an option. Again, upgrades. Pocketed obviously gives you more carry capacity and such. You can't upgrade the Pit Boy, not at all. And then we have this. Now again, no leather, but it gives you greater resistances as you go along. Weapons. We can upgrade our pistol to automatic, reduces damage but you fire faster. I prefer to have a hardened one, simply because it does more damage and I don't need to worry about it. Long barrel gives you better range. Standard grip. Obviously you'd want the sharpshooter later on unless you find a better weapon. Bigger magazine, faster reload, also useful. Standard sight, again, accuracy. I don't need this crap, but if I were to get it, I'd use the muzzle brake simply for better recoil and stuff like that. Yes, I'd lose a bit of range, but the recoil kind of balances that out. Suppressor, as you can see, is completely useless on the range, but it gives you 1 less accuracy too. Compressor gives you 1 better, it's the same, a little bit extra accuracy, but again, lower range, and it's just muzzle brakes better. That's all we need for the pistol. Moving over here, we have our chem station. Now I doubt I have much, but yeah, as you can see, bone required to make oil, oil required to make turrets, so useful. For the most part, this stuff is kind of useless. The only thing I haven't shown you thus far is the food. Now, if you remember, we pulled 3 food. There was 2 melons and 1 gourd, I think it was, out of here. So we had melon, and gourd, and I looted them to get the extra and then stored them. Now, if the food was still here, Marcy would just come and gather there. Me, I like to put the food over here. Now, granted, these bushes I wish I could get rid of, but you've got your 2 melons that I looted earlier, 2 other melons that I stored. I've got 4 gourds out, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of food content already planted, and my 1 carrot that I picked up. Now I'll put the carrots in a line over here, then I'll put tomatoes in a line down here, and then put the corn in a line down here. And it keeps everything nice and neat. Now the extra gourds, of course, I found over there, as you recall in one of the earlier videos. And that is pretty much my Sanctuary Hills. There will of course be razor wheat, which I'll stick in over here, and moot fruit, which I'll stick in along this line here. That just keeps everything nice and neat. That's how I like it. As you know, we've got the 10 water generating over there, and later on I'll probably put in another water thing and just improve it like that. Now there are a few options in terms of either A, leveling up, B, gathering resources, and C, just generally improving. Now you can go that way. There's a little bit of loot over there, some things to kill. You can go up the hill there, kill a bunch of raiders, loot some stuff, go down that way. There's actually a magazine down there, and I'll get that later. You can come this way, loot this guy who doesn't really have much of interest, loot the wild dog. Did I miss something? I did. Tire iron. There is of course this bag over here, and Red Rocket Fuel Station. Now obviously that we are now getting into the main game, but there is our dog. I'm hoping you saw the dog kennel back there. When he is not with you as a companion,
Hey boy,
the dog goes and hangs out at the dog kennel.
You seem like an okay guy. Okay then, let's stick together.
And now we have the dog as a companion, now a semi-companion, because as you shouldn't know, mentioned earlier, the dog is not actually a full companion, and therefore you only get like half the bloody use out of him, which is unfortunate. Now, you don't actually need to loot all this crap. One of the things I hate about trying to loot sometimes is accidentally looting shit off a chair and sitting down. It just wastes time. Now, we're going along and looting stuff simply because we can. Shut up, dog. When he barks, it means he's found something. Sometimes he'll just pick stuff up, and he then has stuff that you need to take off him when you're back in town. See, like there, he's picked whatever the hell that was up, and now it's gone because he's got it in his bag. Didn't know the dog had a bag, but he carries shit. Now, the newspaper is useful. These burnt magazines are not. 1, 2, 3. Fire. I think that's all of them. Now, mole rat teeth count as bone if you're interested, and of course the mole rat's meat, hide becomes leather, so yeah, useful to remember to loot these things. And yes, sometimes my aim is shit. Pre-war money is cloth, which allows you to make furniture like couches and shit more easily, so keep that in mind. You can turn these off and on, but I don't think you actually get anything from it. Not all of them. Some of them are part of, not quests, but side interests, I should say. Caps money, if you haven't figured that out. Now, here we have a computer. It's not locked, so I don't need to worry about trying to hack it. For those of you who are interested, there is a guide in the Steam thing on how to do proper hacking. Me, I'm too lazy to actually try and figure it out, and I simply go in and do stuff in a rush. Now there's safe storage. Now this is talking about where we store shit, or where these guys used to store shit. And the truth is, we'll get there in a moment. Now the only reason I do that was in case there was something of interest might show up on the map. Map being that. As you can see, we've got a pretty big map and nothing's been discovered besides Sanctuary Hills, our vault, and the rocket. That is of course Concord, where we were told to go and investigate by the robot. Now, yeah, a few more things to loot. Nuka-Cola. Another chem station if I wanted to craft some stuff, which I can't do at the moment. But always look around, just in case there's something useful. Now, I don't think there's anything there, but there is certainly stuff here. Now this is where they used to store their radioactive garbage, and they got a prize for safe storage, but in truth they were just tossing it into this cave here. Now, these brain fungus things are used to craft drugs if you're interested. Let's see, we leveled up. We got one on hacking, or one on lockpicking, one on hacking. We can't get that because it requires level 7, but the hacking will be useful. So let's get that. Turn the torch on so we can see shit. Now we already looted that one, but let's see. By the way, this torch thing, if you're sneaking, it reduces your sneaking success if you're moving around while you've got it on, if there are enemies about. So once you've finished looting, turn it off unless you don't really care anymore because you're so powerful. But watch out for stuff. Now that is the thing that's causing the radiation damage, if you're interested. That is a power core that is used to power a suit of power armor. On behalf of the regional office, we congratulate you and your team on winning the Trash Busters Award for the great blah blah. That's basically congratulating them for safe storage of their radioactive shit. Real safe, right? Now, turn off the torch. Now, if you look, bone, which as I said earlier is used for making oil. There may actually be none left by the looks of it. Here's more bone. Now you can't loot that teddy bear, but other teddies you might be able to pick up if you're interested in teddy. That covers our cave exploits. Now I will only go a little bit further because we're headed on in terms of video length, but I'm going to go to the entrance of Concord but not actually start our Minutemen quest for two reasons. The first one is that most people don't seem to realize that there are those gourds behind that one house that are just outside of your Sanctuary Hills limits, and hence the need for add-ons that provide food. But failing to find that, you also have an option of more food here. But it's not too serious just yet. Now, I could walk down there, but I prefer to walk around this side because it gives me a better view of that, which you can't see very well, but you have some evil bastard just there. And these motherfuckers are a pain to try and fight. Damn it. Yeah, these bastards are a bloody pain to fight. Now, obviously I killed that thing, but there's somewhere here Whatever. There it is. Looted. Now, in terms of food, as I said, this is Concord. Now, that churchy thing over there, that's where your Minutemen quest is sending you. But you've got this house here. Open the door, turn the light on because there are no enemies. You can loot all sorts of random crap from around here. But there are two things that are useful. You can go with new bobby pin, goggles, safe. This, of course, is another reason why I like to have the lockpicking high. Unfortunately, I broke the bobby pin.
Yes.
Lock, more loot. But this house particularly is valuable because out back, more gourds, more food. Now, you don't really need gourds once you've got your 4 planted. If you're only going for the general 20, which is what I normally do, then you don't need more than what I've already planted. So, but that is of course where there is more food in the post box. Sometimes there's something in there. As for the next path, we go this way. Now, for those of you who are interested, Concord discovered, gain some experience. Yay! Now, there's a dead guy over here. There's not much of value on him, but sometimes you get an armor piece. Now, as you know, I've only got the one armor piece right now, and that is the right leg thing. So, every piece of armor does help in theory. Unfortunately, it's raider armor. I can wear it, but it's ugly. So, I'm probably just going to pass on it. And that is pretty much covers the basics in terms of entry to Concord. Now, looting those is useful for your early stages of prepping your town, so we do that. Now, if you're playing on a harder difficulty, you would have done exactly what I've done, and then taken one of the other paths. For example, when I said you could go along the river and down up that way, you would do that. You'd also go along the river this way and go up that way, simply because it is safer to do that. It is the best way of leveling up early, because you're going to have one hell of a fight on your hands later on. You don't need to put this crap in here, but this stuff can go in there. Oh look, we got another carrot somewhere. Okay, let's see. Not the stores. Food. Thank you. Carrot number 2. Now, as you know, we've got gourds. We don't have any other food, I don't think, so those are just going to have to wait. And that pretty much covers our video. Now, this is, of course, where our dog will show up if we don't have him as a companion. I'm going to keep him for now simply because I don't have anybody else. As for food, now as you can see we can actually craft a few things. Not a lot, seems that float fly. Now as you can see it gives you rad resistance, which can be useful. Grilled rad roach just restores your health, but as you can see it's giving me experience. Not a lot, good admit it, not a lot, but some. Now early on that little extra experience can prove useful. Now I could carry the food around and waste my time. I prefer not to. On easier difficulties you don't actually need it. The only time food is useful is if you're carrying too much and it might just get you over the line by boosting your strength enough to proceed. Me, I don't need it in this difficulty, so moving on. I will stop here for now and see you next time. Have a fantastic day. Next video will of course be me a few levels up, and I will be going into Concord to do the Minutemen quest. Take care, enjoy, have a fantastic day.